All right, so we're going to continue on the second lecture on the series of on discussion on anitya bhav. Anitya bhav is the first step in recognizing the need to change our internal environment rather than worrying about external environment. External environment is a product of internal environment. And once we realize that the change is needed at internal environment, bhav shuddhi is not going to take place. We have a lot to do to clean out our interior garden, so to speak. The weeds have grown all over. And all these bhavs are needed to clean out our internal environment. And we should be so busy taking care of that rather than fixing the outer environment. Outer environment is a product and result of millions of peoples and objects and animals, and all those forces act to create the final version. It's like trying to catch a snake by the tail. The snake's mouth is still gonna come and bite you. So we don't realize until you hold on to the mouth, that's the source. We're not gonna be able to tame this tiger. You're trying to catch the tiger by the tail, but the tiger's mouth is wide open. It can come and get you anywhere. So the tiger is inside us. Until we have bhav shuddhi, the outer environment is gonna keep us going, make you go crazy. So the solution is not outside. There is a beautiful book called Atma Bodh by Shankaracharya. It's a small book. The third slok in Atma Bodh is that mind and the body are the culprits. They are the criminals in action, they're partners in crime. They're partners in crime. Between the two, the mind and the buddhi, mind and the body, they're going to keep on intertwining with each other and keep on making you believe that this is it, there is nothing else. And they keep you busy all day long, all day long, all day long. So wherever there is a problem, we keep going after that, not realizing they are the one who have created the problems for us. And like if you have gained weight, you have gained weight because of your influence from the material world.
Right.
And then you join the Jenny Craig, then you join the Weight Watchers, then you then you do this. And the problems came from outside, and you're going for solution from outside. How is it going to work?
Right.
The problem was over here. The lack of faith in our lack of realization, our internal structure. And instead of going internally, we keep running outside. And that's why we have problem. So Atma Shuddhi is very important. So first step in doing that, the first bhavana is anitya bhavana. When we start realizing that everything outside is like a dream, life is like a dream. It goes away in seconds. It can disappear in a matter of seconds. All the sensual pleasures, they are like a breeze. They come and they go. Sometimes they are there, sometimes they are not there. Sometimes we want it, it's not there. Sometimes it's there, we miss it because we are in a different set of mind. Whatever. Everything is so breezy, everything is so transient. And yet, we're looking for something permanent over there. We want to be happy. And why shouldn't we want to be happy? Everybody has a birthright to be happy. But we miss that because we're looking for something permanent in this impermanent world. And how are we going to get it? We're not going to get it. That realization has to hit us hard. Until we hit us hard, we are not going to have happiness, right? So even with all the glory the sun has, still at the end of the day, sun has to set. Even sun is transient. With all the glory that it has created, all these solar systems and all that, and yet by the end of the day, you can't see it. Even the sunlight is transient. So we have to realize that what are we? What are all the pleasures? All these things are transient.
There was a question asked to our Babaji. He said, how do we stay humble?
Right.
The answer was, what do you have which lasts forever?
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Exactly.
You have nothing to be proud of.
Right.
It's going to be with you all the time.
Right, exactly. Nothing is going to stay with you. Money is not going to stay with you. Your life is not going to stay with you. Even your body keeps on changing minute to minute to minute. We don't realize it, our senses fool us all the time.
Yeah.
We don't see it. Millions of molecules come in and come out all the time, but we don't think. We think that this is real, and that's where our mistake is. So the sunrise is not. Good morning. Sunrise is transient. We look at all these colors. Yesterday we were looking at a beautiful sunrise. As we speak, as we were looking at it, shades are changing like minute to minute to minute. And there is nothing permanent. There is nothing fixed. Sunrise is transient. Sunset is transient. Everything is transient. What is permanent? Compared to the sunrise and sunset, sun is always there.
And it was very boring this morning.
It was boring.
Yes, because he was sleeping.
Yeah, he didn't.
So, mind sees the things and stores them in a memory, right? And then compares it, whatever is there in the front, and then that illusion that is created by the mind, it sees the things at a different stages, but we don't realize that there is something permanent that is not changing. The change itself is permanent. So when you see all the material things in a material form, it's changing. And that's why we don't have peace. But when you see it in the dravya form, the pariyai form is visible in front of us. Dravya, what it is made out of. What energy has created that. And if you see everything as an expression of energy, that energy, the consciousness, ultimately, that's the tying factor. That doesn't change. That's always the same. So when you start looking at the life from dravya point of view instead of pariyai point of view, pariyai is the manifested form. The dravya is the unmanifest form. So when you start seeing that, that's when you start having the peace. And then you see Paramatma all the time. So people, objects, situation change all the time. But people's minds change. Even the same person that you saw in the morning may not have the same set of ideas. You see somebody in the morning and you agreed that, okay, we're going to do this, but 2 hours later the guy comes in, his mind has changed. Now, so that change is even worse than person changing himself, because it may take several weeks, several months, or few years for a person to change appearance and things like, oh, I don't even recognize this guy. Yeah. You know, talk about high school reunions and, oh my God, look how I've changed, right? But all those things, long time. But the ideas, they can change at the drop of a hat, right? And you don't know, and you think it's the same guy. The same person coming to you few hours later, maybe coming with totally different ideas. Somebody might have changed his mind completely. So how do you find peace in an environment like that? That's why you have to store your mind with the anitya bhava all the time, that this is the nature of material world. It is built into it. It is supposed to change. The change itself is Paramatma. Change is God. What is in front of you? The isness, the existence is the only manifestation is God. But the completely changing, whatever is gone, is the function of your mind. Mind remembers those things, and that's why it wants it, and then projects into the future. So because out of all the moments which are gone, you want the pleasant moments and you want it for the future. It's a game of the mind. The past, the future, all that. But what is in front of you is the only manifestation of God. So when you have apeksha, when you want something in life, that means you are not happy with what you have. You're failing the existence. You're walking away from the God. What is in front of you is the ultimate manifestation of God, and you're walking away from it. So it's an insult to the God. The God says, I did all these things, and I'm bringing this in front of you. You're walking away from me instead of tuning with me. Right? So whenever you want the moments of the past, rag and dvesh. What's that?
Oh, that's feather.
Feather.
We'll come to that.
He's going to talk about it.
No, she thought maybe someone.
It's not a mouse.
Shrenik is changing. He has started now having
Producing feathers now.
Tomorrow he is going to have something else.
Somebody came from my
He's made some bug or something.
Yeah, right.
boundary, my akbar.
I'll hide it. Now you see it. Now you
Tomorrow I
don't.
will come with Hundardi.
So we talked about the couples losing the sons, beautiful, handsome sons, and they died, and unexpectedly. And that shows the transientness of everything that you have. Any possessions that you call possessions, they are not really possessions, but all the material things, including your friends, your relatives, everybody can change, everybody can appear, everybody can disappear at the drop of a hat. So in this transient world, not to believe in it is the way to go. If you keep on believing in it, and the transient nature of the world is going to drive you around crazy, and you're not ever going to have peace. So Anitya Bhavana teaches you that. That's like we said, it's a nitroglycerin tablet. Whenever you get carried away, keep that nitroglycerin tablet in your head all the time. You use it. You open the box, put it under the tongue, and immediately your arteries open up. At least it drags you out of that sensation. So things are going to happen because we are so bound by our vrittis. We're going to be carried away into the sansar all the time. And then, but these things bring you back. So that's why these bhavanas are very important.
This awareness of Anitya Bhavana is so helpful, when there is a loved one leaves you.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
If they die or they are really gone forever or something like that, this understanding and awareness really helps you.
Right.
That nothing is forever.
Nothing is forever.
They can go now or they can go later. So if you know that, then your acceptance ability is so great.
And it does not require intelligence to understand that. This is an understanding. He's exactly putting it right. It's a intellect. Your ways of seeing the whole world in a different perspective. So your perspective changes. Good morning. The world does not change. You don't change physically, but your perspective, your outlook for the whole world changes completely. All of a sudden, and then you realize that all these things are changing on its own. What am I here to say that this is the way I want, this is the way I want? That's when it brings your ego alive. Right. And it's all futile. It's all futile, and we're doing something that is totally meaningless. And when that happens, that's when awakening starts. And then you have nothing else to do except to enjoy beautiful sunrise.
Yeah. Right.
You just enjoy, there is nothing else for
enjoy
you
the
to do.
sleep that you get.
Right. We don't realize, and J.J. Krishnamurti puts it in a beautiful way. And he says that there is a tremendous amount of energy out there.
Right.
I mean, each atom, you can break it and release the power of atomic bomb energy. And all this energy is stored in a single atom. And talk about not just single atom. We are made out of billions and billions and billions of trillions of atoms in our body. Each person is walking around with that energy. And we are not talking about one person. We're talking about billions and billions of people around you. And the animals, and the birds, and the stones, and everything that is around us has so much hidden energy, right? Now, once you have the understanding of this power of energy, it makes you so tiny that your inability to change this.
Right.
How can you change this much energy? And yet, we keep on trying. And that's our mistake. How are we trying? Whether we actually physically can do it is another story. But our thoughts are always there. Even at the thought level, we are working on it to make a change in this world. J.J. Krishnamurti says that it is the biggest illusion that we're living in, that the time will be able to change this for us. It is the total nonsense. Time has never done anything. Time is a creation of your mind. Space is a creation of your mind. So with these two tools that are given to us, and we are using these two tools to see this world, but they are just the tools. And yet we believe in these tools. Tools are our creations. We always have talked about it so many times that time is an illusion. Sunrise and sunset is a total illusion. There is no sunrise and there is no sunset. The earth rotates. It's just illusion that we live by, that there is a sunrise, there is a sunset. And the same thing, the space is a creation. This wall of the room versus this wall. By the time I go from here to there is a microsecond, and I hold on to the memory of the left wall to go to the right wall and then compare. That is how much space. So mind creates all these things, but the mind is not us. Body is not us. We created the mind. Mind should be working for us. Space and the time are our slaves. We are the masters of the space and the time. And what does the space and the time create for us? Everything. Everything, you name it, is created. The whole sansar is not outside. It is inside. It's in our mind. Because our mind provided the framework. How do we create a house? The concrete, the mortar, the bricks, and the wood. You put it together, becomes a house. But house is not home. Then we live in until the energy of us, the interactions, the father, the son, the family, the morning breakfast, evening dinner, all the interactions, all the exchange of ideas, everything, that makes it a home. Right? The same way, the space and the time is just the framework. What goes in? The energy, the consciousness, the awareness. Time and space would not have created nothing for us.
So you go away for 1 month and come back to home, you really feel,
You feel it, you're missing. The same mortar and brick and everything can be scraped off.
Right.
You make another home. You make another mortar and bricks. The home is within you. So this sansar that we're talking about, that originally they said that walk away from this sansar, renunciate yourself, is not the physical sansar we're talking about. It's the sansar we have created in our head. That's what we want to walk away from. So the space and the time should be looked at as our slaves. We should be above that. We shouldn't be relying on the time to solve the things for us. We have to realize that we have hired these servants for us. We are the masters. We are not the slaves to our servants. So it's the other way outlook we have to have. So we should use this space and time to our advantage. We should use them when we need them, but we shouldn't be going behind them. We shouldn't expect the time to solve the problems for us. That's the biggest illusion. So what happens once we realize that? So the future, again, is a creation of the time. So we stop believing in the future. We stop forgetting, we stop believing in the past. So past is gone, future is gone. What do we have to do? Intensify our energy that is in us to enjoy this beautiful world. And forget about anything else.
As is.
And yet, when we live in the society, we use the space, we use the time to build up whatever it has to. We have to live in the world to whatever our necessary functions, you function it. But still accept it and look at it as a total illusion, as just a role playing that we have to do, which we have to do. So the apeksha is a reflection of lack of poorly developed anitya bhavana. Once this anitya bhavana gets strong rooted in our mind, that whatever is out there is happening its own pace, and there is a tremendous amount of energy that is being operated at some higher level, and we don't have any major input to really change it. That's why we say, like we compared Canlock Wood Gorge and St. Anne Canyon.
Right.
Now you talk about two different animals, right? We realize that we can sit at Canlock Wood Gorge and enjoy in a little pool here and there. But at St. Anne Canyon, when there is a torrential amount of water that is flowing, and we talk, what do we do? What do we do? There is no way we can sit there.
Right.
We cannot be swept away in a matter of seconds.
Right.
So what do you do at that point? You fold your arms and you look at it and enjoy it. Enjoy this beautiful world. And this beautiful energy has created beautiful world and it has created us. It's going to do it with you or without you.
Right.
Especially without you.
That's very important. With you or without you is very important.
It has its own capacity to create wonderful things. And so far it hasn't failed. All these millions of years, what it has done is beautiful things. And it has been going on. The evolution you compare. Compared to that, your lifespan is nothing.
Means It's not after achievement, it's after creating.
Exactly. Creation is more.
We are after achievement.
Right,
This
and we
goal
want to
and that
label
goal
it.
and that.
We want to label it that we are this and we are that. The labeling, we are like a label factory. We were in China buying